Welcome back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. With me today is a man who spent 16 seasons in the NBA. He was a two-time All-Star, won a championship in 2004 with the Detroit Pistons, and now hosts his own podcast called The Rasheed and Tyler Show. Can't wait to talk to my brother. It's been a while, big time. What's going on, Rasheed Wallace? How you doing, man?
What it do, beloved? Same on this end. You know me.
Now, you've been a basketball player, NBA, started at the University of North Carolina. You know, we've been boys for so many years with your Philly roots, with me writing for the Philadelphia Inquirer for so many years. We'll get into all of that for a second, along with your comments about Doc Rivers, you know, watching Tyrese Halliburton running his mouth, saying what he's saying. But a lot of people don't realize you are a Kansas City Chiefs fan. You've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan for years. How the hell that happened when you grew up in Philadelphia?
Man, it was a personal issue. You know, my mom had the only TV in the room when I was growing up. So back when kids programs used to come on Sunday mornings, you know, I wanted to watch my programs, and so she wanted me. She like, hey, turn the channel. So I had to turn that knob and turn to the, you know, the pregame football show. So I was sitting there with an attitude and everything like that. And you know, I would always cheer for. Once I seen they was cheering for the Eagles, I was always cheering for the other team, and then it just grew
so
into
you did it to spite your mama.
A love-hate relationship.
You did it to spite your mama. That's what you did. You said, I'm mad at mama, so I'm going to do the opposite of what she wants to happen just to spite Mama Wallace. That's what you telling me.
Oh, yeah, I was hot, man. I was hot. I wanted to watch my programs, dog, you know what I mean? And she wanted to turn to some damn Eagles game. I wasn't into football then. You know, my only sport was track and field, so I didn't like football back then, so I didn't want to watch that.
So you did it to spite your mama. Now, I knew Mama Wallace all them years you was in the NBA when she used to be at those games. Mama Wallace don't play. She didn't whip your ass. She didn't whip your ass for room for those Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, no, she didn't actually. You know, she switched her teams up as she got older. You know, she was an Eagles fan, and then, you know, somehow before she passed, she was like, "Oh, I'm a Steelers fan." I'm like, "Mom, when you become a Steelers fan? When they was winning them championships back a couple years ago,
right.
Like, come on, Mom." So
I'm looking at the Kansas City Chiefs right now, and listen, I was rooting for Lamar Jackson. I ain't gonna lie, I love Patrick Mahomes, but he already got 2 chips. You know what? I think he's about to get a 3rd or whatever. I was rooting for Lamar Jackson. I thought Lamar Jackson was gonna give it to him. Were you fearful at all that was gonna happen to your Kansas City Chiefs? Were you worried?
What was I? I mean, damn, he's only the MVP of the league. Who wouldn't be worried?
Right.
Shit, I was worried every down, especially when he scrambled, I think, for like 21 yards, 22 yards one time. I was like, oh, good Lord, please don't let this man go. Hey, let's put a spy on him. We got to put a spy on him, please.
Right.
Can't let this man get off.
So how do you think about San Francisco and what kind of matchup they're going to create for Kansas City, considering the fact that Kansas City went to Baltimore and beat the #1 seed, the #1 team? I mean, how do you think they're going to do against San Francisco?
Well, in my opinion, of course, I think Baltimore had the better quarterback, but I think San Francisco has the better running back. You can't ignore what Christian McCaffrey's been doing, not only this season, but the few years he was in Carolina, bar injury. Right. And so he's a great back. You know, he's almost an every down back. He's a scat back. He can run in the flat. You could put him out there in the slot. He could go against your linebackers in the slot. So I think he's an all-around back. I give him like a Marshall Faulk status.
Okay, all right. Let me transition to some basketball stuff. And I'm going to get into these players and complaining about the new rules that strip them of having an opportunity to win awards because they don't play at least 65 games. I'll get to that in a second. But you made news recently because you were talking about your old coach, Doc Rivers. Now, damn it, you went to the finals with him in a Game 7 in one season. You played for the man, okay? You lost in the conference finals against him when you were in Detroit. What's the deal with Doc Rivers and saying he's not that great of a coach and he's not going to win in Milwaukee? What's going on with that, Rasheed?
Well, first of all, it's only one Doc in the NBA, and his name is Julius Erving.
Okay.
This one is Glenn Rivers. So let's get that straight, coming from Philly.
Oh, Lord.
All
go
right,
ahead.
But
go ahead.
But no, I mean, I did play for 1 year under Glenn when I was in Boston. But I don't think it really wasn't him back then. It was, you know, Tibbs had defense and Kev had offense.
Kevin Eastman.
So,
Kevin Eastman was your assistant coach that handled offense. Tom Thibodeau handled defense. Yes, go ahead.
Exactly. And so, you know, Doc, he was more of a quote unquote, I would say, a locker room manager. Now, every coach has to be a locker room manager at some point, right? But and I give him that. But as far, in my opinion, as far as with the X's and O's, that one with Tibbs and Cash, because if you look at it from the outside looking in, before I got there, we all heard that Ray, KG, Rondo, Perk, that they didn't get along and all this other shit and this and that. So you always heard from the outside looking in. But once I got there, I'm watching, I'm observing, I keep my mouth shut. I'm new to the organization, so I don't know the ins and outs. And I just watch things. And there's a lot of guys that came and go that really, really didn't respect Doc as far as the way that he did things, the way that he coached. So only thing I can do is just sit back and watch. But I will say this, coming from me, from my part, I will say this, that the man lied to me, though, because that was one of the main reasons that I signed with Boston that year was, of course, to play with those other players.
Right.
But from something that he told me that I definitely would get more time than what I got, right? So I'm like, okay, I understand the time thing. It might not have went the way that it went, but this is the part that I really didn't like. So when I was married at the time when I was playing in Boston. So after the game, we all get that check-in call, hey, babe, before we get on the plane, hey, babe, how you doing? But it's like, she's like, oh, good game. Sorry, y'all lost, this and that, da-da-da-da-da. But she was like, babe, I don't like your coach. I'm like, wow, what's up? He be talking shit about you. And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, he talking about you be shooting too many threes and you don't want to post up and do this and that. I said, what? I said, what? I said, he really said that? I said, okay. I said, but that's not what he was saying in the meetings, though. Mm-hmm. In the meetings, he was saying that, of course, Ray Allen, of course, Paul, of course, Eddie House.
Right.
Those three guys.
No question.
Shooting cats right there.
No question.
And then, he, with me being a shooting big, he put me in there. He was like, look, these guys got the green light to shoot the three. You know what I'm saying? If they have it, everybody else, y'all fall back, this and that. So I'm like, okay. So the way it was back then, now, a lot of guys don't know what I'm talking about when I'm about to say lifted. So when you have, let's say you have a lot of the action of the play going on the left side of the floor, right? So now you have either your center or the guys that's not really involved with the play lifted on the right wing, right? Because they could, back then, you couldn't play zone, this and that. So
zones weren't allowed back then.
Yeah, I'm lifted. Or I might be in deep corner. Okay, so by the time the ball get to me, it's only maybe a couple seconds left on the play, or I'm open. I'm gonna take the shot. Good. Boom, take the shot. Doc didn't run no post up plays for me. The one who did was Rondo. Rondo called some of them plays out there himself. He's a floor general. I definitely got to give him that, and I had a whole new respect of him once I played with him. But it was him who was pretty much calling a lot of the post-up plays for the bigs because he saw different weaknesses and this and that out there. But yeah, man. In my opinion, I didn't like that.
I get where you coming from, but here's my pushback on that, Raj. We got coaches. First of all these coaches depend on their assistant coaches. Don't you? I've never seen anything in my life compared to how it is over the last decade or so. You got 4 or 5 different damn assistant coaches. Y'all huddling with one another for a full damn minute during timeouts while the players going over there drinking their water, getting their rest, huddling, listening to one idea after another, and then you pick the best one and you come to your players with it. It's called delegating responsibility. You hear what they have to say, and then you come and you give it to the player. So we know that's a fact. And in terms of talking shit about you, I mean, what coach don't talk? I covered Larry Brown. I mean, you're making me laugh. I covered Larry Brown. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, you're sitting there 1 minute, literally going to the press conference. I mean, I got the greatest player in the world. I mean, he's phenomenal. He's fantastic. I look at this team right here. You played for him in Detroit. Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton. I saw Rip Hamilton losing against Larry Brown. Larry Brown just finished saying about him the first 24 hours earlier. He's maybe the best shooting guard in the game. And then the next thing you know, the next game, what the hell is this guy doing? I don't even know if he should be on this team. You've seen stuff like this. So why be ultra sensitive to that, Rasheed?
It's not a matter of being ultra sensitive. It's just a matter of being human. Yo,
okay.
If I'm not, now with my thing, I'm not going to do nothing out there on the floor, if it's my teammate or the coach, I ain't gonna do nothing out there on the floor to cause more rough. We gonna handle this shit back in the locker room.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? No matter if you got something to say to me or I got something to say to you. But my thing is, all it is a simple apology, because it's like, all right, here, all right, I'll tell you a perfect one. For instance, here it is. You know, it's going against one of them cheating ass refs, right?
Okay.
And I felt as though it wasn't a call. And so, you know, Doc came, you know, he subbed me out. I didn't mind the sub. It was cool. But as I'm going to the bench, you know, I'm saying to the ref, I'm like, you know, I'm like, yeah, you know, with some bullshit or this or that, whatever I said. And so Glenn's going to look at me and say, oh, man, just go to the sideline. Yeah. I'm like, hold up, Doc. First of all, you're supposed to be on my side. Don't patronize me when I'm sitting up here cussing another motherfucker out if I think that he might have did or said something wrong.
Right.
I said, hold up, don't patronize me with that shit. Don't sit up here, especially out there on the floor in front of everybody too. Nah, I'm not for that. That's for one of these young boys right there.
Right.
I'm a vet up in this league at the time. So, no, that's not for me. But, yeah, I would have been in the wrong if I would have got face-to-face with him on that sideline and cussed him out right there, right?
That's true. But here's the flip side. Rasheed Wallace, I don't want to hear that veteran shit. You'd have cussed his ass out if you were a rookie. You know that. If they step to you or anybody step to you wrong, you ain't gonna tolerate but so much. We talking about Rasheed Wallace. You talking to Stephen A. I've known you for damn near 30 years. What you talking about? There's no way on earth that somebody, I don't give a damn when you were 18, when you were 21, you're 25, 28, 30, you have always been consistent. There is a line you will not cross with Rasheed Wallace or else. So, I mean, come on now. It ain't about being...
I mean, but no, it's about simplicity, though.
Okay.
I mean, with simple shit, all you got to do is apologize with shit. But it's not just with me.
Right.
You know, I've seen different shit in that locker room to the point where
fair.
which makes me say what I said about him.
Right. Now, you do know that when it comes to...
You know, it's other players you can ask as well. You know, he has some other all-stars.
Yeah.
You can talk to Ray. You can talk to Marquise Daniels, Eddie House. You know, you can talk to
I
them.
have, but I also heard from KG. You also hear from Big Perk. They rave about him now.
Yeah, because I rave about the motherfucker too if he want me and shit.
So listen. Oh, now you just said it. He won you a chip. Well, when he won a chip in 08, before you got there, Thibodeau was there then, Eastman was there then, but the coach obviously was the coach. So Doc Rivers got that chip, went to 2 finals in 3 years, never lost a series when his starting 5 was healthy during that time, Raj. I mean, we got to give him some love.
Hey, give him some love with what? Because after that 2008 year, they didn't win another one, number one.
Okay.
And how many times has it been a 3-1 lead? You've had a 3-1 lead with
4 times.
Different teams.
4 times.
Four
and
times.
lost 3 3-1 leads.
Yeah, and blew them all. Come on, you can't. That's not no good coach right there to me.
All right. Now,
you know what I'm saying? And you can.
You do know the great Larry Brown, because I know how you felt about Larry Brown now in terms of his coaching ability. You know he only got 1 title, right? And we all know how great LB was. We know LB forgot more basketball than most people know. He only got 1 title.
True that. Yeah, he only got 1, but LB is a whole different category. That's you talking about somebody who's in the Hall of Fame. That man has done one thing that I don't think either no other coach has done, and that's won an NCAA title and an NBA title as a coach.
That's right.
You know, we have some players who have done that. You know what I'm saying? Rip is one of the few who won an NCAA title and an NBA chip as a player, but Coach Brown, he's done that as a coach.
All right.
There ain't no comparison.
So when it comes to Glenn Doc Rivers' last question, is it fair to classify your assertions about him as that it ain't just about coaching? You don't like his ass because of some things that he may have done or how he may have acted towards you. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair to say. Plus, it's fair to say I don't like how they fucked up my Sixers neither.
What you talking about?
Yeah, with my Sixers. Yeah, he fucked my Sixers up.
Really? So you blaming Doc? Hold on, wait a minute. You're blaming Doc. Hold on. Let me ask a question. This your boy. This your boy talking to you. This your boy talking to you, Rasheed. Don't let me get Tariq and the crew on you. You know what I'm saying? Wait a minute now. Don't let me get your cousins on you, right? Here's the deal. Are you trying to tell me you're blaming Doc Rivers more than James Harden?
50-50. I wanted both of them motherfuckers going out of Philly, and I'm thankful that both of them going. There's one more I want going too, but I know he's not going nowhere. He just signed an extension, but no, I wanted both of them motherfuckers out of Philly because Harden to me is not a team player. Yeah, he gets buckets, but he's not a team player. And with the way that Glenn was, that it was a fiasco. I mean, come on, dog. 3-1. Somehow, somewhere, you got to pull something out your ass as that coach. This time, it's not going to happen to me this time. I'm going to make sure I do. I'm going to send somebody in there, flagrant foul somebody. I'm going to do something to make sure I win this damn series up now when I'm up 3-1.
I am a fair-minded individual. I have to concede Doc Rivers did lose a 3-1 lead 3 times, and he has lost 5 consecutive Game 7s. So the pressure is on him. Make no mistake about it, okay? Ain't absolving it from that. You talked about Doc Rivers. You talked about James Harden. You said there's a third dude that you wanted gone. Who that dude?
Oh, now I don't know. Is he the GM or is he
Daryl Morey?
assistant GM or
Daryl Morey?
Yeah.
Well, Daryl,
yeah,
hold. Daryl Morey did just hire Nick Nurse. That seems to have been a good hire. James Harden is up out of there. Tyrese Maxey got the ball. What's wrong with that?
But he needed to be up out of here too because look at the fiasco he did down there in Houston by bringing James Harden here, then coming with that BS contract. Now we don't know if what James Harden was saying was true, if Morey lied to him or not, or this or that. We don't know. I wasn't there. I can't talk about that deal with him. But I'm just talking about with my team. I'm a Sixers fan. I love my Sixers. And yes, when Glenn was our coach, I couldn't cheer for us. So when we had Harden, I couldn't cheer for us. Now it's a whole new different team. It's a whole, and we don't win shit this year, then me and Embiid going have to go at it because it's
the brother been playing lights out. He just can't stay healthy, but the brother been giving it to them.
I know.
They've been getting averaging 35, Rasheed. You can't point the finger at him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. We riding on him, but if he can't play, that's what I'm saying. I'm ready to fight him because you got the whole city on you, dog. And you're right, Stephen A. This man has been killing. He's showing why he was the MVP.
That's right.
He's been killing in the beginning of the season. You know what I'm saying? But I just want him, and it's going to be a thing. And I knew that with Nick Nurse, the way that he coaches his guys, with empathy, and he goes out there like, hey, look, I need y'all to do this, need y'all to do that. It's self-sufficient with some of the players that he had and talking with some of the guys that he had in Toronto.
Okay.
So I knew that he was going to come in here more defensive-minded than our previous coaches. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing. We got one of the biggest motherfuckers in the league right there. Yo, keep his ass right there near them blocks. I don't need to see Embiid going out there with the hesitation crossover and step back threes trying to be like KD or Bron or any of them. No, be Embiid. Be that fucking unstoppable monster down there on them blocks. Who gonna stop him?
I said this morning on national television, a healthy Embiid or Jokic, I'm still going with Embiid if healthy. I'd go with Jokic because of durability, availability, etc. But in terms of skills, I think Embiid is the truth. I don't understand anybody that will look at his talent and want another big man. I mean, it got to be Shaq in his dominant years. Okay, somebody like that. I don't listen. Tim Duncan, Mr. Fundamental. I don't even know if I want Embiid more than Embiid. That's how I feel about Embiid. He is that kind of a superstar as far as I'm concerned. Having said all of that, Boston, Milwaukee. I ain't even ask you about Milwaukee because I know what you think about Milwaukee already. You already said it. I already know it. Even though Dame Time is there with Giannis, because of Glenn Doc Rivers, you ain't giving them no love. So that leaves Boston.
No, they get love.
All right, Boston, Philly,
beforehand.
Boston, Milwaukee, Philly, Miami, and the New York Knicks. Give it to me.
All right. I'll start with the Knicks. The Knicks are playing pretty good. I like how J.J. Brunson, he's coming in there and he's doing his thing. He's trying to establish
since January 1st. They're 14-2, the best record in basketball. Keep going.
Yeah. And he's establishing that he's one of the better point guards in the league, and he's doing it with non-all-star talent. Of course, Jay Randall made the All-Star 1 or 2 times in his career, but I'm saying look at the rest of the roster, though.
Okay.
So I got to tip my hat with him with that. Miami, for me, in my opinion, all they need is a true center. Like I love Bam. That's my guy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
He's really a
but
power forward.
He's not a center. He's a power forward, yeah.
Right.
So you got him going against the Embiid, the Jokers, the
Too
Rudy
small.
Goberts. You got him going against the guys who got him by at least 4 or 5 inches and outweighs him by at least 60 to 80 pounds. So I mean that makes a difference at some point in the game.
Right.
But I think Miami, all they need is a big man. You know, their guards are good, they're solid.
What about your former team, Boston? What about them?
Boston, they only got the best home record in the league. I mean, they only lost, what, 1 game?
Jason
No more
Tatum,
than
a
2 games
superstar,
at
bro.
home.
Jason Tatum, a superstar.
Oh, for sure. Fact. Jason Tatum is the bona fide superstar, especially on that team. I think Jaylen Brown's a superstar as well. We just got to get him to go left a little bit more.
Yeah.
But, no, they have a pretty good, solid team. And then, you know, that's all anchored by the vet, which I'm surprised he's still in the league because he is a vet. Al Horford.
Yeah.
You know, I'm Al Horford holding that shit down for them cats in that middle. Granted, he's not a big man, but he has that
So I
knowledge
got
to
Boston
be
coming
able
out
to
of the
make up
East.
for it.
I got Boston coming out of the East. Who you got?
I got my Sixers.
Really?
I got my really.
Who's the third wheel? You got Embiid, you got Maxey. Who's the third wheel? Because I need Tobias Harris to step up and be more aggressive. He got the game. He doesn't have the aggression. That's my issue with Tobias Harris.
Hey, I love Tobias too, and he's been a roller coaster with me up in Philly. He's one of our better perimeter defenders. I like the things that he does. But yeah, I'm with you. He has to step up night in, night out, not just every other like 8 or 9 games. It got to be night in, night out, especially if you got the young fella Maxey going hard, and you know that Embiid, you know, he's not going to be able to play every night. So, I got to make sure that I'm consistent with my.
You brought up James Harden. He plays on the Clippers. Clippers been balling. I think the Clippers could come out the West and end up in the finals. What about you?
That's gonna be tough. I don't know. The Clippers, they got the perimeter play. You know, they got the guards with West, and they got Jay Harden, they got Paul, they got
Powell and Westbrook coming off the bench. Powell and Westbrook coming off the bench. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying they got their consistent scoring right there, but you got to have some interior scoring though. You got to who they gonna stop if they match up against Denver? Who's gonna guard Aaron Gordon? Who's gonna guard Joker? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if they could. They got the talent to come out that West. You know, they got the guard play to come out that West, but they're going to need some interior scoring.
I think they can force Denver to
off night.
I think they can force Denver to go a little bit smaller because you can't keep up with them thoroughbreds if you stay big. That's my belief. You see what I'm saying? That's how I'm thinking. That might be a strategy you got to employ. Just a thought process. Let me transition to this dude, Tyrese Halliburton. He was my pick for starting point guard for the All-Star game, because even though Brunson is that dude, got love for him, and I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan and a native New Yorker, at the end of the day, Tyrese Halliburton, league leader in assists, averaging 24 a game, #1 offense in the NBA, and on top of it all, they're top 5, 6 seed in the Eastern Conference. New York Knicks was top 4 last year. They top 4 now. I'm looking at that. But that's not why I want to ask you about Tyrese Halliburton. I want you to take a look at what Tyrese Halliburton had to say when we were talking about him, when he was talking about this stupid rule, because he was saying that to be a league MVP, be an all-star, to be all of these different things, win these awards, you know, 6th man of the year, rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, all of this other stuff. The rules, 65 games, at least 20 minutes. He says, quote, I think it's a stupid rule, like plenty of the guys in the league, but this is what the owners want. So as players, we got to do our job and play in 65 games if we're able to. So that's what I got to do, take care of my body to be able to play in those games. And I think you're seeing other players in the league kind of face the same thing, as long as the owners are happy. I went off on television this morning, and I aired it a little bit earlier, where I was like, I don't want to hear that nonsense. It ain't about the owners. It's about the fact that you have players that set the stage and paved the way for you. The MJs, the Kobes, and so many people in between. John Stockton, Karl Malone, Gary Payton, list goes on and on. Cats playing 82 games, cats playing 78 games, 75 games. You got a whole bunch of cats, whether it's Kawhi, it's Kyrie, and others, Bradley Beal, Anthony Davis before this season, missing a whole bunch of games. And you have cats that literally, they ain't injured, not those individuals, but people who haven't been injured, Rasheed, Instead, they're playing because they don't want to get hurt down the road. I think they brought this on themselves. What do you say to that?
Well, he pretty much said the own answer in his statement. You know, they want us to play 65 games. Shit, you should be doing that anyway. You should do that for the love of the game anyway. I want to play every game. I want to be in there every game. That's for the love of the game. I don't say it a lot, but I'm with the owners on this one. Like, cause me personally, I think is robbing the fans. Cause if I'm sitting up there, I'm working, and I got that fan package, and I got a ticket for me, my wife, my 2 kids, and we come in the game, and I already spent about $1,200, and I'm coming to see you, and you decide that night that's when you want to do your load management, and you don't want to play. I'm like, what the fuck, dog? No, you got to be out there. And the way that we did it, because we did load management too, but ours was different. It was like,
How?
okay, if because that coach, trainer, and player is like, okay, he kind of hurting, but we could rest him a little bit. But hey, let's make sure he's still getting to the groove of things. We're gonna play him like 5 minutes in the first quarter and 5 minutes in the third quarter, and the rest of that is gonna be the young boys. We don't need to play them tonight. It's a garbage team. We don't want to risk them getting hurt, but we're gonna play those first few minutes. Why? Because now the fans can take their pictures and be like, oh, I seen him. Yeah, he did this move and he did that move. Instead of, oh, yeah, he was on the bench and he was drippy and he had all the ice and chains on. He was over there eating and drinking and he was just up at halftime laughing and looking at everybody.
Or you like that damn Ben Simmons. Or you like that damn Ben Simmons looking like Zoolander, the male model. You understand? The shades and the outfits on and all that damn stuff. You like one of those. It pissed me off.
Oh, man, it pisses me off, too, because now, on the flip side of it, okay, you still want your money, though, right?
That's right.
You still want to sit up here and get paid, those certain amounts of money, but it's a mixture of, to me, this whole AAU culture with a lot of these kids who are privileged, they get shit thrown at them. It's a mixture of that because you have a lot of them in the league now.
Right.
You have a mixture of that along with the owners is tired of cashing out all this bread and these cats ain't playing.
Right.
I get it. I'm with them. I get it because I don't want to tune in. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. It's no disrespect to the other players who aren't like the big names in the league, but I'm not tuning in to see second, third, and fourth string. No, I'm not tuning in to see this dude.
You damn sure ain't going to the arena to watch it. You damn sure ain't going to the arena to watch it.
And that's my thing. But I ain't got no choice now because I already spent $1,400 on this fan package and the limo and all that shit for my family to get there. Yeah, I ain't got no choice but to go now, but I'm disappointed because I don't get a chance to see that megastar, that superstar, that all-star. And I'll be mad as shit.
Last question before I let you get on out of here. Is it fair to label that rule or this issue the Popovich rule? Is Greg Popovich the cause of all of this because of how he allowed load management with his San Antonio Spurs players? Remember that time they were at the Orlando airport at Chick-fil-A waiting for Southwest Airlines the night they had a nationally televised game against Miami when Commissioner David Stern was alive and he was the commissioner? Remember all of that? I'm wondering, what level of culpability do you believe a coach like San Antonio Spurs coach Greg Popovich has in all of this?
Man, that was a whole different thing. I think that was a whole different reason why he did it. Yeah. Because you got to look at it. They were on the road for like 2.5 weeks because in San Antonio, they got the rodeo, which is a popular event down there at their arena on the fairgrounds. So it's like, shit, that's mad money for the city coming in. And granted, yeah, we understand they the Spurs and this and that, but that's the city, the state coming in there. So they on the road for them 2 weeks. So no, out of them 2 weeks, I might play 3 good teams. So, yeah, I'm going to need Tim Duncan. I'm going to need David Robinson. I'm going to need Ginobili, Parker. I'm going to need all my guys.
But he sent Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker home, and they were playing LeBron in Miami that night. He played Orlando the night before and took off the night of the nationally televised Miami game with LeBron and D-Wade in them.
That could have been out of spite. That could have been something that Pop and the commissioner had.
The spite.
That could have been something with that. But I know from the player standpoint, to me, it makes sense. I'm not going to sit up here and have my star players play against. And at the time, they weren't a good team, in my opinion. against the Orlando Magic or against, you know, so no, I'm gonna try to sit them down. But yeah, that could have been something with Pop and David Stern. I don't know.
I got you. I'm gonna let you get on out of here, man. I appreciate the time, appreciate the basketball expertise. I'm gonna definitely have you on again as the season wanes, particularly when the playoffs arrive, because your ass as a basketball analyst is hilarious. So I got to have you back on. But by the way, on this show, we call him Doc Rivers, man. It ain't gonna be Glenn. It's gonna be Doc Rivers.
His mom didn't name him Doc. His mom named him Glenn.
Oh Lord. So now then we go to Mama route. Now we go to Mama route. We gonna lean on what Mama said. That's what we gonna do. Oh damn. Get out of here, man. Love you, bro. I'll talk to you later.
Love you too.
All right, man.
All right.